Review the steps I need to learn a better backhand.
Okay, Doug, the turn. That's a very important characteristic. Racket preparation again, the contact point, and the finish. Notice how he gets his racket back nice and high with his hand close to his hip, drops the racket head well below the ball, and finishes nice and high, well above his head.
And what are the goals of a good shot?
Like the forehand, Doug, the backhand has some of the same characteristics. You'd like to get it over the net, add direction, add depth, add spin, and then add speed. The two-handed backhand is similar to the left-handed forehand in the respect that the racket head does the same characteristics, except we have an additional hand on the racket. It does a circular pattern where the racket head drops well below the ball and then finishes up nice and high. Here's Lara demonstrating that technique. Notice the circular pattern. Drops the racket head down below the ball and then finishes up nice and high. Now here I am demonstrating a one-handed stroke. The important thing are the progressions or the steps that follow. Remember to watch the characteristics. Here I'm demonstrating the grip. Notice I'm going to show you the panels again, the numbered panels. Now I'm demonstrating the grip for an Eastern backhand grip, a one-handed stroke. Now watch, notice the bevel of the racket. Now I'm out here showing you the first progression or first step. I've got the backhand grip. Now where's the contact point? Here we go, well in front, about 8 to 12 inches in front of my right foot. Now the racket head finishes up nice and high. That's the contact point. Now here's the finish. The racket's like a bridge that I could walk underneath without hitting my head. Notice it's almost parallel to the net. Now the backswing. The racket head drops well below the ball, the face of the racket's down, and then finishes up nice and high. My left hand travels back to counterbalance my body. Now the turn or pivot. Racket begins on the hip, okay, drops below the ball, and then finishes up nice and high. These are the progressions or steps necessary to produce a good backhand. Now the turn from the ready position. Racket goes on the hip, finishes below the ball, then finishes up nice and high. I'm showing a one-handed progression. Now the real stroke, ready position and recovery. Now notice how Adam takes the racket back, drops it below the ball, and then finishes up nice and high. Racket does that same pattern. Now Alvaro does the same characteristics. We're seeing it from a different angle, but it shows you the dramatic turn or coil of the upper body. Again, he's always recovering and going back to ready position. Now here's the slice backhand. This is a specialty stroke. The racket head travels like a jet airplane landing, a gradual decline as you strike the ball. The racket head finishes out and forward and starts well above the ball and then strikes on a downward plane as he makes contact. And this puts